friend Beth. We're going to make tomato pie, which is my very favorite dish in the entire world, and Beth introduced me to this dish. So, now what?
Well, let's see. Let's go over what you'll need for tomato pie.
Okay.
You will need one prepared pie shell.
Okay.
Which you probably prepared. I mean, you need to cook it before you use it.
Right. And this is the kind that was a rolled out kind. You don't have to make your own from scratch pie crust.
Nope, you can get it at any local grocery store. It is a roll out prepared pie shell, or you can actually use a frozen pie shell from the frozen department, but I prefer to the roll out kind.
And you also want to have a deep
dish
pie
thing. Dish. You will also need a bowl to mix your toppings.
Mm-hmm.
A 1 cup measuring cup. You will need salt, pepper, chives, parsley flakes, basil, mayonnaise, and grated sharp cheddar cheese. Now, it is my opinion that for cooking purposes, Hellmann's is your best choice. I'm not doing any product placement things here. It's just what I prefer.
We have no sponsors.
We have no sponsors whatsoever.
If
you're in the South, you can also use Duke's, but if you're in the North, you most likely can't find Duke's up north.
Sorry about your luck.
Yes, sorry. But for cooking purposes, I prefer Hellmann's.
Yes.
Do not use Miracle Whip.
Oh. And sharp cheddar cheese.
It has to be sharp. It has to be sharp cheddar cheese to achieve the correct flavor. You will also need approximately 6 to 8 green onions. And you will also need approximately 8 vine-ripe tomatoes, not too ripened. They need to have a little bit of a yellow tinge to them. If they're too ripe, your pie gets very mushy. It's kind of a mushy pie anyway, but
yeah.
If they're really, really ripe tomatoes, it won't cook properly. It'll be very runny and watery, and for cooking purposes, you need to use tomatoes that are not too red and have a little bit of a yellow tinge to them.
These were the yellowest ones I could find.
Yes, these are pretty good. These are pretty good. So we will get started here. The first thing you have to do is prepare your pie shell, which we've already done.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will take your tomatoes. You're going to start with your tomatoes. You want to cut their little stem areas out. Get rid of that. And then you want to slice them about 1/4 inch thick. I said in the introduction you need about 8 tomatoes per pie. Really depends on the size of the tomatoes. You know, that can be a give and take kind of thing depending on how big your tomatoes are. And you'll do a layer of tomatoes here.
Okay, here we have a layer of tomatoes in the pie.
It's about 2 levels of slices thick. That's going to be your first layer of your pie.
Okay.
And on top of that, you're going to chop approximately 3 to 4 green onions. Again, this is also something that depends on, you know, the size of your green onions. If you have little tiny skinny ones, you might want to use more than 3. These are pretty good size green onions, so we're just going to use 3. And you take your green onions and sprinkle them in there.
So pretty.
Spread them around. And you're going to take a little bit of your chives. Sprinkle that. This is kind of a two-taste thing. This isn't really measured. And a little bit of...
And that's just dried chives.
Dried chives.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And a little bit of parsley flakes. Not too much. A little bit of basil leaves. Not too much. And a little bit of salt and pepper. And then once you're done with that, you're going to repeat this layer. Another 2 slices level of tomatoes, and again, more green onions, more chives, more parsley, more basil.
So we've got what here?
Our second layer of tomatoes and green onions and parsley, basil, salt, pepper, and chives. We do 2 layers of that as prescribed in the first segment of pie making. Now we're going to make the topping.
Okay.
The topping is, the original recipe for the topping calls for 1.5 cups of mayonnaise and 2 cups of sharp cheddar cheese. Me being the Southern girl that I am, and my motto being that behind every chubby Southern girl, there is a dish with mayonnaise in it, and this one is mine, and it's totally worth it.
I second that.
I usually do 2 cups of mayonnaise and 2.5 cups of cheese, because you can never have too much cheese and mayonnaise-y goodness.
But I only brought...
But you only brought enough to do the original recipe, so that's what we're going to do.
I didn't know.
Don't spill your cheese. You need all of it.
Right. Every little shred counts in this dish.
Just mix it up real good. It's real simple, real easy to do. And you take it. Got it good and mixed up because you don't want to have too much cheese stuck together. You make sure it's good and dispersed well.
Okay.
And you take the
We got that
topping
blended.
and you put it on top of your pie. Spread it out.
Cheesy goodness.
Cheesy goodness. Now, you should know, I really, really love tomato pie, but I am actually somebody who does not care for tomatoes. So, to give you an idea of how wonderful this dish is, that says it all. I don't eat tomatoes in any other shape, form, or fashion aside from fried green tomatoes and tomato pie.
And fried green tomatoes will be another segment.
Yes, we'll do fried green tomatoes, and we're back in season. Right now, you can't really get them.
Well, and I don't care for cooked tomatoes. And the first time that Beth told me about this pie, I was very skeptical. And now I wake up in the middle of the night wishing that I had some at my house.
Yes, we all dream of tomato pie. So once you have all that spread on there, good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rinse my hand real quick.
Tomato pie.
You put it in the oven
Okay.
at 350 degrees for 30 minutes or until the topping has started to brown a little.
Okay. Bye pie.
Bye pie. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. And our pie is ready. It's got a little bit of browning to it. That's how you kind of know it's done there. You don't want it to be brown all over. You just want it to be starting to get brown, like that.
It looks so good. So then we're going to let it cool for a little bit.
You might want to let it cool for just a few minutes before you serve it, just because it will be hard to serve it when it's real piping hot. But I like it hot.
Okay.
So we're going to cut our pie. We've let it cool a little bit. You want to make sure you use kind of a sharp knife to do that. And you just cut it in, pie shape, which is the way you want it. Any size you want. A pie server is really better for this, but I can't find it. And then you just... It's going to fall apart, so don't freak out.
Okay.
It's going to fall apart. This is an imperfect pie. It's not going to cut like a pecan pie or anything like that. It's going to be a little soggy in the bottom. And there you have it.
Okay.
It's okay if it's messy.
That's how you know it's good.
That is how you know it's good.